could pull the trigger, and they will.
Oh.
They're doing it. It's even more risky than Fiora, but they're running Vayne top. But again, at least you understand why. That is, in fact, the level.
Talk about the W. Here it is, comboing it onto Soul, who is going to flash away, but the heal comes through. And the electrocute alongside the E of Tristana means that first even get near it. As Jin once again, big win to them. Going to take a very impressive first Drake. They roll that into an Infernal. And the next Drake will be Infernal as well. So we'll see how that one goes as in goes Grace. They're trying to get the ult down, and they will, perfectly timed as well. And nice
to have anything positive, any funny memes where they're not falling
Here
behind us. Here we go.
As the support has cleanse, but Soul doesn't have cleanse. As Root gets in there, and Root and Nova make
Tristana. And I can hear Dongjun, our Korean analyst, just dumbfounded. So that might have been Cloud Temple, just dumbfounded by just how no more depressing time for Tristana mains when you went Blade, Rage Blade as Tristana.
Yeah.
With how she works as a champ. Speaking of how champs work.
Ooh, trying to lock down Dread. The flash in from Grace as well. Gonna be locked down. He doesn't have flash anymore. And Dread is gonna go down here. The flash in from Linderong, trying to get on top of Keen. As Keen not quite able to for it. Tristana that has a massive lead. As Keen is trying to hard carry here. He wants to get on top of Linderong, and he is going to get that kill, but will trade his life for it, which is not necessarily a win.
Nope. Scenario gets one turret shot less and lives. In this case, he does. So nicely done, all right. And most of the time, because just how do you get all three members of Afreeca to 3 items? Dread's going to skip out, but he's got no escape plan.
Yeah, he's got Grace on the other side here, and that's just going to be Dread once again.
Everything's stacking up. The mountain's taken down. It's not quite an Infernal, but no 4th spawn Oceans in this game. And he's trying to walk around and it's being feasted on. It feels like it's open season on Piggies. As Root's dead.
Well, that's
first good moment from Afreeca. You wonder, you dare to dream if you're an Afreeca Freecs fan. Still, we're going to focus on Jin. Glass is still half full for them. But there are objectives being traded. You know, macro that we can fully appreciate and great ward coverage from mid-game when they're ahead. You'd like Jin's position, but for now, pretty good defensive line here. It's incomplete, but there isn't a lot of threat when it comes to the red side or the blue side jungle. There's one control ward down aggressively. Afreeca into mistakes. They could also try some creative ganks.
Well, this is one way to do it. Pool is down, but he does have a stopwatch. Root takes a bunch of damage, and well, Brook is going to get away for now, tries to flash in to get that kill with this empowered Q, but that does not work. And meanwhile, underneath the turret, looks like a dive did fail here, and Soul's going to go down. What the hell is happening? As Grace going to make his way in too. One more auto might do it, and there it is, another kill. Goes the way of Jin, and all of a sudden, the avalanche starts.
Well, it turns out everyone can make mistakes, and Afreeca's not a top team, so they actually trade back. And they might actually lose.
He's got the angle as well. He's like, it's actually happening.
I mean, isn't this the angle to watch Jin from Afreeca from? A little bit off center, a little bit crazy. We're watching it here. Vayne knows, but can't do anything about it. And Jin get the Baron because the throws are thick and fast. From Twitch chat, I want to see glad plane or sad plane spammed in the chat. I'll find it in the VOD afterwards, but this is the time to decide. Jin in a really good spot.
I'll go ahead and throw my own glad plane in there as this is looking pretty good. I'll, throw my tips on the table on this one as every single lane is being decimated right now with the Baron. It's a huge power play, 4,000 gold already, Papa.
All Afreeca have is the thought of later. They haven't reached that 50,000 gold number. They need to find a really amazing approach. The last one from Dread cost them. Pushing in 3 waves. Aatrox taking down Vlad's turret solo. That's a good sign for the side of Jin. Can they break the base in multiple spots? And remember, they only have one more minion wave. They need to go now to get those inhibitor turrets.
And Grace, after a play like that, must feel pretty untouchable. And, well, I thought he was actually going to go in there, but not this time around. They're going to take it slower than usual.
A good adjustment. They send Vayne top, they pull Vlad bot, and now Aatrox can't actually hit the turret at all. So they have not yet got any inhibitors down. They should get the 3rd turret, though. Root is so strong.
He's pretty unbelievable right now and just threatening to do it, but Root does have that QSS. But Galio, not as tanky as you'd like, and take a look at Keen in the front line. Already going to take out. It's that other The other scaling champions, you mentioned the Vlad, the Sivir, eventually has to be careful. That range on the side of Tristana is going to be huge, and they're going in, trying to dunk him, but Zenon with the big time. The stopwatch. Take a look at Keen up in the top side. He takes out one, trying to go to the back line here, sees, but he's also going to go down. And Brook is doing his job of zoning out the rest, but in comes
going in!
He's coming in there, gets a double kill. They're going to take out the inhibitor.
This might be
it. He's still in the pool. He's got to come out and stop this madness.
It's only a tank and Keen. What can Keen do?
Root gets pretty low, but the ultimate gets Keen out of range here. Dread going to flash away, but it's not going to be enough. And it looks like Keen, who is alone, is not going to be able to do it. And Jin Air finally is going to win and stop the 17 games. Will not lose an 18th time in a row.
These are feelings these players have felt so rarely. The respawns are coming in, but I don't think it's going to be another. I think Jin Air's done it.
Wow, Braum not able to do it. We get the rotation as finally we have Jin Air win another game here. Their second of the... Okay.
And they take Corki. So, here's what Jin Air were thinking about. They're like, how can we lose this game? One rolling. Less gifts here, but ships in the night, these junglers. Dread in a good spot.
Yeah, trying to land that one with the flash, but they see the Lee Sin, and flash comes in though, and now Nova is in a ton of trouble. First blood, pretty easily.
And we're looking for a Hex Flash engage.
Okay, well they should have known they were there, and now Nova with no flash is going to be another sitting duck here. Heal does come in, but the flash from aiming means that down again will go. They saw the ward come over the wall, so they must have known that at least one person is in there. They go in for the face check, and they get punished hardcore, which means that they give up priority.
So bot lane's really the only great place to go, and now bot lane's a great place to go for Afreeca. They're piling on.
Yeah, this was the dive I was talking about as Mate's call does come in. But that cannot save the Kalista.
I want to go bot lane again with no summoners on Kalista and no ultimates. They're just trying to find something on the map. I actually think that's smart, but they're going to have to fight for this, and they don't have the items to do so.
Will be 5-on-4, though, as aiming is way out of position, going for the push here. It's enough Ren stacks that it should go the way.
Okay.
And okay, Packet's going to come in and try to separate the team as down will go Gallios. He's going to pick that one up. Big time Cataclysm, but the damage isn't there as Zenon was zoning
to
out.
Get away. That was actually pretty significant. They could have lost a further member. Turret plays being cashed in on both sides. They're leaving the solo gold to the Kalista, you'll notice, on the top of these items. And Kalista's items coming in that they win in a gold deficit. It's very possible in this game. Around this mark, come that point, we're chasing from multiple angles, but it's going to take a while to kill Brook.
Yeah, he does have his TP, but there's so much CC in these two guys as the taunt is going to go wide. And Brook just going to attempt to trade here up against Root. Does have the life gain, but is not. And the rest of Afreeca will use that time to take their own turret.
And that's probably the not worth part. Yes, it's a kill, and it's gold. When the mid lane turret is gone, and then Lee Sin and Alistar have interesting ways, even Keen on this Aatrox, you can't miss this series, because how often will you get Lee Sin with the Fate's Call active?
And then we get another chance for Jin Air to win a series if they do lose this one. So
it was a fourth spawn Ocean in this game, but it will slowly be taken down by
it's a far cry away from double Infernal into Mountain that Jin Air got in game number 1. And how about a third?
Keen says, how about a flank? Speaking of flanks.
Yeah, here comes Alistar, big knock up. He's gonna knock Seize into that back line. He might be the sacrifice here, but he is actually gonna be able to get away after the hero's entrance comes in from Nova. Dread's gonna get taunted up and nearly gets low. Nova with the big shield, but it doesn't look like it's enough to get him away from harm's way. The kill does go to the side of Afreeca.
Keen is still a monster.
That he is just gonna world end here, try to zone everybody out. Should be successful to do so. Nearly kills Linderong.
He's spotted.
Trying to come in from the top side. They're trying to delay this one. The kick comes in. Dread is able to get him away. Comes in, smites it down. And the Baron will go to the way of Afreeca. Nicely played.
Another one of those. So hard to respond to this pressure, though. Jin Air want a group. They have to force something. They're trying.
Well, they did get the flash away from aiming. Probably the best they could have got in that situation.
Means that 3-lane pressure becomes 2-lane pressure. And remember, Jin Air want to fight with their shields as a 5. That's why they have to hard engage. Otherwise, they're split to death.
Grace has to come down to protect in the bottom lane up against inhibitor turrets and next objectives.
The third game is so likely here. Jin Air need to find a way to get 3 honest fights.
Inhibitors be fine. on all of these pushes as mid-turret just going to melt. Nobody able to stop that push, and it looks like Afreeca will move on to try to take their first inhibitor.
Pretty tutorial stuff here for Afreeca. They can play 3 lanes, and Jina's can't answer 3-lane push. So Baron buff is the ultimate equalizer here. No rumble required. Got pushed up and top. Turrets falling everywhere. Can Jina do anything?
Well, a package comes out, but that's not going to help too much. Root gets a couple of autos there onto Keen, but C's
having that spot where you're losing your inhibitors, losing the game, and not even being able to fight for anything.
Oh, C's misses the flag, and Drag has to go forward to his death eventually, and the 2 inhibitors going down certainly felt like an eventuality, but Afreeca trying to stretch it into more even without the Baron. After that kill does come in, looking for their 3rd inhibitor in the bottom side, and still feels like Jin Air don't have much they can do in terms of stopping this one now 4v5. Just gonna have to Valkyrie away to safety and let everything fall.
Just waiting to see. Actually, I would wait for Elder here. If I was Afreeca, I wouldn't try to rush this one down. That's the LS analysis that I think is sometimes a bit overblown. But
everybody on the side of Jin Air just grouping to try to stop double super minions from getting into the base.
Come on,
all
Brooke.
Right, here we
come
go.
On, Brooke. Steal it. Steal it.
It's right there. Hey, come on, buddy. No.
You had one job.
Well, yeah, Senin had one job, and so did Tease. He goes in with the stopwatch and is not going to die just yet. Finally does go down as Grace and Root are desperately trying to do damage. Down will go the Alistair. They still have that Galio engaged, desperately trying to keep their turrets alive. But so far it is a 1-for-1 as Linderoth going to get low. Nova's going to get low. Take a look at Root on the left side. Is going to be burst down eventually. It's all up to Grace now. Still does have Linderoth with him, but you can see the rest of them are going to be able to burst down the Corki. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to my first Game 6 of the Spring 2019 as Afreeca are able to tie it up here up against Jin Air in the second game.
How do they answer it?
Okay.
We didn't even notice. Vladimir just left open the entire time, and they're going to just take Vladimir.
As he's been sitting on this for a good 2-3 minutes.
In a losing matchup.
Oh, the stun though goes on to Brook. And he has to ult himself. He might be going down here, but we're taking a look at the bottom side too. First one.
The weak side of the map anyway. This is probably more than Afreeca should have gotten, and Jin Air trying to punish them.
As you can see, the Lissandra sitting in the mid lane for now as sees
the aggressor in top side. He's the one who's threatening. And speaking of threat, Lissandra's coming.
Here she comes, but Root is able to get into safety. You can see a TP comes in, and Nova's going to be okay. They turn onto Brook here. Dread also taking a bunch of damage. Senin as well, gonna be denied that dash, and here comes Keen in a bit of trouble. Has to flash himself, and the flash forward. They want to get that burst damage onto the Vladimir, and they will. 3 kills will go the way of Jin Air.
It is all lined up for Jin Air. Too late. Afreeca realized they had to get out. They were too overextended. Brook's going to die eventually on the back end. He's trying to explore new parts of the map. You don't need to do that. It's not civilization.
He's looking for a new exploration unit.
As a game where Root got going on Ezreal, but they stayed bot lane after getting a big advantage and kind of squandered that position.
Yeah.
Actually, they had a lot more flexible lane assignments. So actually, Ezreal shadowing Vayne when the supports are involved, when there isn't going to be a map lead and get ganked, gets more advantage. And their only price is an Ocean Drake. Was not LCK standard. You needed to give me all that, Valdez, and even then, it might not be enough.
Well, Nova will be the sacrifice here as he's actually really fast. Say, hey, here you go. A little bit quicker onto your next item. See when he actually does get there. Root and the rest of them trying to get more aggressive as aiming. Grace pulls it off, and the TP's going to come in. Brook, you're going to get knocked up, and down you should go. Is going to ult himself first.
Still, Brook needs to fully recall. They are not going to be able to keep this in a turret rolling. Big moment for Jin Air. The Brook pushes on the top side slowly, but the slowly part is relevant. They're going to lose a Drake, and also will need to reset on the map and have a lot of experience in trying to close out games where you have to overextend, and things like this happen. C's already has been caught, and Keen's flank. It seemed likely. We know it's coming.
Grace gets the stopwatch out of Dread, but it looks like C's might be in some trouble. Keen still at full health, trying to zone them away. Good taunt there by the side of Senin, trying to get in, and Keen is going 1v4 right now. He's going to be punished for it And now Senin might be in a ton of trouble too. Tries to taunt up Linderong, but oh, another max range stun from the side of Grace means that Jin Air is going to win this fight for now. Brook now is going on in. It's going to be burst to smithereens by the side of Grace, who picks up another kill.
They're able to pick up the kills here. That's 3 for 0. 3 for 1, I should say, on the side of Jin. They don't have the smite, but they want more kills.
They're coming on in. Nova's super tanky, and Grace and Ezreal here. Root just do insane amounts of damage. Tom Kent can just tank it up for days.
And they're even pushing him at the same time. They got to fight earlier before that 40,000 gold was in, and just like we outlined, it worked out. Dread's trying to waste time to allow the rest of his members to respawn, but that's the most he's going to do. He goes down. Targeted E there. Baron buff could be kind of bigger outside just a team wipe.
Well, Senin, you are not allowed to stand near the Ezreal and the Syndra.
No.
He's going to go down. Nice snipe.
Thinking about a Baron. They just walk up with their siege, and what is a Vayne to do against a siege like this?
Can't do anything, especially when you don't have that follow-up engage from the Galio to make room.
Should we go on record?
Make some plays.
I think Jin Air does it. I think they're going to win this one.
I mean, Grace is just ridiculously fed. I don't even know why Dread is that Ezreal.
That was an Inferno. That was just an E into 1 round of spells.
Here we go, guys. We're taking off. Start the thrusters. Jin Air playing. Glad
Play
playing
the back line and do it all himself.
Hey, everybody does dodge that one, and the pool is going to deny the Syndra ultimate Keen. Trying to make a play here on a Grace, but a nice Devour gets him in, but Linderong is going to be ulted up. Grace super low. Trying to get in range of him now. Here is aiming. He's going to flash it, and he will get 1,000 gold. Is it possible? You talked about 45,000. They want to get Root in range to try to stop this one.
Winner of this Baron wins the game.
Comes in. Vlad going to also TP himself. They may be able to turn onto him here. He's going to immediately pull. In goes the knockup as Root has other plans, wants to go in there.
He's so aggressive.
Trying to kill Senin. Brook nearly goes down the immediate Devour, but the Baron goes to the top. Kent! Nova gets the Baron, and it doesn't look like Afreeca are going to have it today. Jin Air are going to push for the win.
Jin Air Greenwings will not go down. They will win this series, and they'll do it now.
Finally, we can take off on the runway. The Glad plane is finally going to fly. After so many weeks and a month and a half, Jin Air should be winning their first series tonight.
We're going to see some real emotion here. These players have never won in the LCK, the majority of them. They'll close it out here. Nova flashes in, smites away, and they finally win after so much toiling in LCK Spring 2019.
It finally happens. We see high fives on the side of Jin Air. You see that the emotions will come out from the fans, from the coach. Immediately makes his way on over as the emotions not coming out just yet. It's hard to after 17 losses in a row, but you cannot deny that finally they have reached their goal of having a Glad plane fly.
And what does it look like to celebrate on the Jin Air Greenwings? For Root, he doesn't know. He's never won a series in the LCK. A lot of these other players have been around, but of course have just felt this sinking feeling again and again. It's their first bow to the LoL Park crowd, the last of the 10 teams to do it for the first time.
Maybe the emotions come out in the interview because I'm sure we'll have some hard questions asked, like what does it feel like to finally win?